Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I already see 22 and rising people in our webinar. So, welcome, everyone. I'm glad you could make it. This webinar will be about the Cycle Ingénieur, the engineering cycle here at Ecole Polytechnique. So, we'll be taking 5 to 10 minutes before we get going. One, while we wait for people to log in, and two, while we wait for some of my colleagues to join us, and they will be here to help answer your questions and present with me. So for the ones that are already here, I'm launching a poll. If possible, please answer it. Not if possible, actually, I need all of you to answer it. So I need 100% participation. It's a bit about where you live, the country of residence, your full name, or what school you're in, your nationality, did you already apply or are you planning to? Just a few questions that help us get a better idea about your situation. So this will be it for now. This meeting is recorded, so if any one of you ends up needing to log out early, you can find the recording on our website, and we'll also be sending you an email with the recording, so no worries. But of course, we'll be happy to have you along with us through the whole ride. So give us a few minutes, please. We'll be waiting until 1:05, 1:10, more or less Paris time, and then we'll get going. Welcome, Marc.
Salut.
Hello, how are you?
Not bad.
So Mark is my colleague. He will be helping us with the webinar. He'll be presenting to you a bit more of the technical part, and I'll be presenting the school. We're still waiting for one more person and for more of you guys to show up. So talk to your friends, family, brother and sister, cat and dog. Tell them to join, and we'll get going in a bit.
Great.
Okay, up, up. Okay, I see people answering the poll. We're still at 5 out of 50. So there's 45 of you who still didn't do it. Please move it along. This is valuable information for us. Will help us help you better. Can you also let me know? And there we have a Q&A. So if you have any questions along the presentation, please don't hesitate to write in the Q&A, and either me, Eleanor, or any of our colleagues can help answer these questions as we go. So no need to wait. And either way, at the end of the webinar, we'll also have a short time for Q&A. So if you still have some lingering questions, we'll make sure to help you. No problem. Can you also let me know in the Q&A section how you heard about this webinar? Did you get an email? Did you see it on social media, on our website? So this would be also interesting for us to know. Actually, one of the questions is here. This is how you heard about the program. I'd like to know how you heard about the webinar specifically. Okay, 2 more minutes and we'll get going. You got an email. Okay, thank you, Alain. Alain, I don't know how to pronounce. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Email and social media. Okay, perfect. Email. Okay, so plenty of you are getting emails. Great. This means the emails are working. Can you send the email along to your friends and family? If you know anyone who's interested, of course, don't hesitate to send them, to invite them through colleagues in college. What college are you in? That would be interesting. And which country is the college in? Brazil. Okay, thank you, Felipe. Nice, interesting. Okay, we can get going, I assume. So let me get these things out of the way. Up, up. So can everyone see my screen? Can you see my screen, Mark?
Okay, perfect.
All is good. Perfect. So I'm gonna get going. First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone, anyone who's new, who just came into the webinar, who I didn't greet in the beginning. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. This webinar will be about the engineering cycle here at Ecole Polytechnique. We'll be answering all your questions, giving you all the necessary information, and at the end of the webinar, we'll have a short Q&A. If you have anything, any lingering questions, you can also ask us. It will be me, Karim Koubaissi. I'm part of the marketing team and my colleagues Marc Rousseau and Eleonore Payen de la Garonterie, who will help us all throughout this presentation. So why study in France? Usually, before I even begin, I like to give you a few numbers for all the students who live abroad. So, for example, Felipe, who's in Brazil, if you're considering why should I move, why should I leave my country and come to study in France, or for those who are in France and are considering going outside, why should I stay? Why should I study in France? So, first of all, France is the seventh economic power in the world, and it's the second in Europe in terms of GDP. It's one of the top science and technology hubs in Paris and in Europe, and also where we are at Saclay, at Palaiseau. It's where the school is. It is the equivalent of the Silicon Valley, but in France. This is what the government wanted to create for this part of the country. So we're the third best country to study abroad in, and we're the second favorite for recruiters. So recruiters love French students that come out of France, not necessarily French students. We also have 63 Nobel laureates and 15 field medalists. If all of this is not enough to convince you, the language barrier might be an issue. Well, France has many English taught programs. It also has a really high quality of education and it's recognized worldwide. A degree from Ecole Polytechnique is recognized and appreciated wherever you go around the world, and this would never be an issue. I can promise you that from now. It's also a really good value for money when you compare this to other countries like the US, the UK, and so on. France comes out to be a really good price for the quality of education that you're getting. Also, you get opportunities to stay if you're from outside France. You get the opportunities to stay in France once you graduate, work here, and develop a career. So more about us. I told you about France. Now, what about École Polytechnique? So we were founded in 1794 by Napoleon Bonaparte after the French Revolution. He wanted to rebuild Paris and rebuild the city. So he gathered the brightest minds, engineers, scientists around the country, and this is to rebuild it. And this is when École Polytechnique was founded. So 232 years ago, we're still going strong and still following in his footsteps. We are really close to Paris. We are next to Saclay, which is a 40-minute metro ride away. We have 160 hectares of green space and labs and classes. A really big campus. You're going to see a picture later. It's really nice. And we have a big alumni community that were behind major breakthroughs in science, tech, engineering, medicine, and so on. We're also the sixth institution with the most worldwide, with the most Nobel Prize winners. And hopefully one of you will be the future one. So a bit more about international rankings. I know this is something that's important to everyone. So we are first in engineering and technology, computer science, and we're second in math in France. And we also rank among the top 40 worldwide in this field. Also, in terms of university ranking, we're the second best university in France, and we're in the top 50 in the world. For employer reputation, we're first in France, and we're 12th in the world. So employers love us. They love the quality of the students that come out of our doors. They're all ready for the world, and they're ready to take on big roles. So our values, what do we stand for? Napoleon Bonaparte, long time ago, stood for excellence. He's looked for excellent students. This is what we do today. So we look for excellent students, and we also promise to give back an excellent education, quality of living. This is not a one-way trade. It's a give and take. Of course, excellence is not exclusivity. We believe in accessibility. So if you have the skills, the determination, what it takes to make it to École Polytechnique, well, we make sure that nothing else stands in your way. The highest quality of education will be accessible to you. The campus, everything is yours. And finally, we're a human scale. So we have a really low student to faculty ratio. This means you get the focus that you need. You're not going to be just a number in a big classroom. You get the focus that you need to ensure the quality that we pride ourselves on. Our pillars, we have first of all education. We have 3,900 students over all our programs and 501 professors. So as I say, low faculty to student to faculty, sorry. We believe in research. We have we have over 23 labs and they can go to over 40 with our partner universities that you might have the chance to work in. And all our professors or researchers, they've gotten their hands dirty, they've done the time in the field, and they're here to spread their knowledge. And finally, innovation. Since 2010, we've started over 400 startups from our very own incubator. And if you have a mind and you want to pursue something, if you have something in mind, well, we can make sure this happens. Some more numbers about our alumni. Of course, we're proud of them. So first, we've had an astronaut in the European Space Agency. We have the first fighter woman pilot. We've had three presidents and many politicians, five Nobel Prize laureates, and hopefully many more. And the CAC 40, which is the French stock exchange, the equivalent of the S&P 500, but for France. Well, one third of them are Ecole Polytechnique alumni. For our programs, we have a few. Today we'll be starting with the Cycle Ingénieur, which you can see on the left, which is the only program that is in French. We also have the option of doing a bachelor's degree, and after that there's master, PhD, and lifelong education. Today we'll be focusing on the Cycle Ingénieur program. So I'll be leaving the floor for Marcoso, my dear colleague, to explain to you a bit more about how the program works and how to apply and so on. Marc, floor is yours.
Yeah, but for academic program, I think Eleanor would be more appropriate.
Eleonore, floor is yours then.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry, but
So it's a 4-year program, which is quite different from other engineering program, which are in 3 years. So the two first year are multidisciplinary years. The first year you have a quite long internship in military for French students or in civilian organization for non-French students. And then at the end of the year, you have a 3 months pluridisciplinary program. And then the second year in the continuum of the first year, you have the pluridisciplinary scientific program where you have a mix of mandatory and elective courses where you can choose between biology, chemistry, computer science, economics, mathematics, mechanics, and physics. And you have as well a scientific team project during all the second year, laboratory modules, because we are scientific and research formation. And then you have a mandatory course in sustainable development during this year. And to complete this second year, you have humanities, social sciences, management, foreign languages, and then personal development and sports to complete them. And then you have the 3 years, the third year, sorry, which is a more specialized year where you will choose specialization between among the 16 possible you have you can see in this slide. And then at the end of this year, you have a research internship during 5 months. And then the 4-year is not in at the Ecole Polytechnique. It's a master degree. You can choose between master in France or abroad or in another engineering studies in France. And so at the end of the formation, you have 2 diplomas. The first is a master degree in engineering, and then you have the diploma of the Ecole Polytechnique. And at the end of the 4-year, 30% of our students choose to continue by a PhD program. So I already gave words about it. So during the first year, you have a long training, which is a civil training for non-French students and for about 20% of French students. It could be education training or social training in France or abroad. And you can see here just some example of fields for this training. And then I already have a word for the military, which could be in different armies like Armée de l'air, Armée de terre, Navy, Gendarmerie ou Police nationale. Karim, you continue for the infrastructures?
Yes, I'll take over. Thank you, Eleanor. So for the sports, we have a lot of infrastructures, really quite a few, and we have over 17 activities that you can partake. So for our infrastructures, we have 25-meter pools, so almost Olympic pools. We have tennis courts, a dojo for all kinds of fighting sports and combat sports, martial arts. We have all kinds of ball sports, so football, basket, tennis, badminton. Uh, I don't, I forgot the rest, honestly. We also have a fitness room. If you're into, I don't know, bodybuilding or doing cardio or yoga, we also have all of those, of course. And what could be interesting, we have fencing, horseback riding. We even have the option to do sky, uh, what's it called? Like jumping from a plane. I forgot, but I don't promise you this one. And we have the activities that I've listed. Here's quite a few and more. So these sports, they are quite serious. You are required to do, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're required to do 6 hours per week.
Mm.
So it's essential for your development and your health, of course, and also to complete your year. So this will be part of your curriculum. And here we go into the Cycle Ingénieur concours, and this is where I leave the floor to Mark.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. Yeah. Okay, so Cycle Ingénieur. So how do you get in this school? So we have two populations, French applicants and international applicants. For French applicants, this is a little bit special because they have a military status for the 4 years that they will spend on the campus. So it has some advantages because you are paid during this period, and also you have some duties because military status implies that you have to respect certain rules. As far as number of seats are concerned, you have 431 seats, and there are two ways to enter Ecole Polytechnique, either by the so-called classe préparatoire aux grandes écoles, which means it is a competitive exam which is prepared in many places in France. So this is more or less the equivalent of the first 2 years at the university. And we also have some seats for students who will make the choice to go to a genuine university. And we have 34 seats for those students. The number of seats for university students is increasing because we realize that it is another way to form students who will enter École Polytechnique, and it is quite interesting. So for both of them, you have some rules. First of all, you need to be at least 18 years old by September 1st of the examination year. September 1st is the date in which students come in École Polytechnique. And because of the military status, you must be at least 70 years old. You must not be too old either. And the rule is that you must be under 23 years old by January 1st of the examination year. So, for example, the students who will take the exam, the competitive exam, this spring must be at January 1st less than 33 years old. And then they will enter, if they are successful, around September 1st. We also have international applicants, and I suppose this concerns this is what concerns most of you. So we have 140 seats. So when you compare to the number of French seats, it is not bad. And for those, we have 45 seats for students who are in those classes préparatoires aux grandes écoles. Most of them are in France, but we also have students from Morocco, from Tunisia, from Senegal, where there are some class preparatoire over there. So they all take the same competitive exam as the French students, but they do not compete with them. They just compete among themselves. And we also have 95 seats for university students, and this is quite a big number. And for those university students, they may be either already in France, but then we require that they should be there at least for 2 years, just not you arrive and you take the competitive exam. Uh, the requirement for those who are in a French university is that they should be in the third year. No, in France, we are in the European LMD system, so three years of license and then 2 years of master and then doctorate. So there must be at the end of the first bench as the or in so-called licence. Uh, for those who are abroad, we also have a competitive exam, which is different from the one for those who are in France. We have a special competitive exam for students who are abroad, and this exam takes place in the fall. So, but maybe in the next slide we shall have more details. So, first of all, let us come back to class préparatoire. So, as I said before, we have a great number of seats for French candidates, 397, and 45 seats for international candidates. So in the French system, we have so-called many ways, many filières, as we say in France, and we have the list on this slide. So the one which has the most applicant, the most position, is the one on the right column in the middle, so-called MP, Mathematics and Physics, with two options: computer science or physics and engineer sciences. So we have 163 seats. And yes, exactly. Thank you. And the point is that there are two parts. There are written tests, after which a certain number of students are selected to go to the oral test. And the written tests are taken in common with the so-called École Normale Supérieure, which are with Ecole Polytechnique the best schools in France. So we share some exams, some written exams, and then we have our own oral exams. Written exams take place in April, and oral tests take place from mid-June to mid-July, according to the way you are there. Maybe we can go back to the previous one. Thank you. So I was talking about mathematics and physics. So you have the list of all the disciplines, and maybe it is interesting to note that if you are, for example, in biology, or if you are more interested in technology, you have some possibilities. So you have all the lists here, and the number of seats, of course, may vary from one to the other. So now we can go to the next one, to the university applications. So we have several ways. Um, you have the list. You have three lists, in fact, more or less. In the next 2 years, there will be only two of them. So there is the so-called filière universitaire française, which means that you are in a French university. The exams take place in spring. More or less, students are applying right now. There are no written tests, but you submit an application, and there is a first selection on this application, and we select a certain number of students who will come at École Polytechnique for the oral test. As you are supposed to be in a French university, it means that you have to move to École Polytechnique, but the oral test more or less lasts 1 week, and there are ways to find accommodation and so on the campus when you come here. So you see, it is more or less what is in green. Yes, in green on the slide. So inscriptions, applications, you now. Then you will take the oral exams in May. This year it will be between the 4th and the 17th of May. And then you know the result by the end of June. The number of positions for this way is not fixed in advance. More or less, any foreign student who is as good as the last French student who will enter through this filière universitaire will be admitted at Ecole Polytechnique. More or less, we have between 5 and 10 international students who enter Ecole Polytechnique in this way. Then there are the two others which address to international students who are in their own country. Filière universitaire internationale, it is more or less what is in brown on the slide. So this is for students who are abroad in their own university. In order to be allowed to apply, they must have finished at least 2 years in their university. So they are in their third year when they apply. Starting this year, students who are in a bachelor system with 4 years will have the opportunity, the possibility to apply also in their fourth year. So then the idea is more or less the same as the filière universitaire française. It means that you send an application with your grades and so
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Is it just Mark who cut off? Okay. I thought the problem was from my side. It's okay. We'll give him a minute. He'll be back. Up. Let's see some of the questions since we're waiting. Maybe Eleonore can help me out with this one. I am in Lebanon. Where can I register for the exam?
sorry, I had a
Oh, welcome back, Mark. Okay, sorry, anonymous attendee.
I had a connection.
We'll get back to you in a bit.
Sorry. So I was saying that for the oral test, it takes place in your country, typically at the French embassy, at a French institution in your country. You go there and you have, and we changed the system this year. So you will have two interviews, one in the so-called major, your main discipline, which can be mathematics, physics, computer science, chemistry, or biology, and one which is in the secondary discipline. And we have a special rule, because we say at that Ecole Polytechnique, our DNA is mathematics. So it is thought that even though mathematics is not your main field, you have to be competent in mathematics. So for those students whose major is not mathematics, the minor will be mathematics, no choice. And for those whose major is mathematics, they have the choice among the four others. So you have those two interviews. During these interviews, you have also some motivation discussion. And then the committee meets, and there is the list of students who are admitted, and the results are known more or less in November. Usually, but it depends on the year, we have about 40 students, 40 students who are admitted in this way. Now there is a third line, which is filière universitaire internationale. This is a way which is going to disappear, more or less. It means that this spring will be the last possibility in this way, and positions from this possibility will be transferred to the previous one, to filière universitaire internationale. So what you have to keep in mind is that you will have to take the test in your own country by video conference. Okay, maybe we can go to the next slide. Yeah, and then it is
So here I'll take over. Thank you, Mark. So I'll be taking over. What about life on campus? Of course, this is part of what's interesting. So we have many student associations. We are at over 200 now. Honestly, everyone lost track. If you have something in mind, if you're passionate about, I don't know, robotics, Harry Potter, whatever you want, you can gather a bunch of your friends, you open a club, and you can get going. You can find an association for almost anything. There's chess, football, movies, whatever you want. So as I mentioned before, we have 164 hectares of green space. You can see a little sneak peek in the pictures on the left. We have a lake, we have a museum, a library, all the sports facilities that I've shown you, a cafeteria and the restaurant. The restaurant is open for lunch and dinner every day, Monday to Saturday. So you are well fed, well taken care of, and it's really healthy. And you have the options of vegetarian, pescatarian, something with fries usually, and something else. So it's really quite lovely. We also have, as I mentioned, the museum, library, sport facilities, and it's really close to Paris. So if you want to live the Parisian life, you're only 40 minutes away. You can go get your baguette, walk on the Champs-Élysées. It'll be really nice. So a bit more about our outcomes. Where do our students end up going once they're done with their studies? So all our students, almost all, 93% of our students, find employment before graduating. So almost all of them find once they graduate. So these 93 did not even finish their year and they already have a job. 27% of the students who don't graduate go on to do who don't go do a job, do a PhD. 50% go into corporate, 70% go into public sector, and we have some other outliers who go here and there all around the world. Now, top destinations where our students end up going. So three quarters decide to stay in France, 8% go to the US, and 6% go to the UK. So you also have the distribution of French students versus non-French students. So even non-French students, if you want, international students, 90% of them stay in France. 8% go to the US, as we said, but 19% for non-international students, and also 8% of non-international students go to Asia. So here's a bit of how our students spread out. Now for fees, I know this is one of the questions. So if you are an EU student, EU means from the European Union. So Belgium counts, I don't know, Finland counts, all of the above, you know them, no need to list them. It will be at 19,000 for all 3 years. So they are divided in the following way. Year one is 3,500, then year two and three is 7,750 each year. And for non-EU students, we are at 38,000 for 3 years. So year one, we are at 7,000, and year two and three, we are at 15,500. Of course, as mentioned before by Eleonore, year four is optional, and this will depend on what masters, if you decide to go abroad. This is case by case. Mark, would you like to add anything for the militaire option?
Not really. It is
No,
not.
all good.
It
Okay,
is not. It is not my specialty.
okay. I would like to announce that if you are a French student in the military, and you're doing the military training, then your studies at Ecole Polytechnique will be free during your 4 years. At the end of the 4 years, you will have to work in a public institution, so with the government. But it's quite wide. Don't be alarmed. A public institution, Air France is a public institution, so is Total Energies and so on. For 10 years, and based on how many years you study, based on how many years you work, you will not pay. So for example, if you finished your studies, you don't pay a thing for French students, and then you go into the public sector, you work there for 6 years, and then at the end of the 6 years decide that you've had enough and you want to stop, then you will have to pay back the school these 4 years. uh, you get more or less what my point is. So you are an investment if you want. The government is investing in you. You get a free education, and you give back some of your time to help advance science and technology and so on within the French government. And if you decide to stop at any point, of course, this is not, no one's forcing you to do anything. If you decide to stop, then you reimburse however time you didn't do. Sounds quite nice, honestly. So once you're done, for non-French students, if you decide to stay in France, you can get a residency. So the residency will either come from your job, so you're working, you get a residency as a salarié, what we call it, someone who's working, or you get a job seeker residency. So for 1 year, you can stay in France, start your own business, find a job, whatever you want, and once you do, you can stay and work here. If you decide to leave France, you get what we call a VLSTS, which is similar to a visa, so you can go leave France for up to 4 years, and if you decide to come back, you're more than welcome. You can carry out with your life normally. And if you stay in France for 2 years after your higher education, so after a master's, after you, which is your situation, if you work for 2 years after that, you can apply for residency. Of course, terms and conditions apply. These are government regulations and they can change. So please do check the Campus France website for more information on these details. For the corps d'État, I will give back the floor to Marc or Eleonore. Or we can skip this part completely. What do you think, Mark?
Sorry. So at the end of the third year, you can apply to integrate the corps de l'État, which is quite specific, where you can join technical corps de l'État or armies, and we have quite some number of seats for each corps. But for to join the corps de l'État, you have to be French for army, and you have to be European citizen for the technical corps. We are corps de l'INSEE or mine or pont eau et forêt. So it's at the end of the third year.
Okay, thank you, Eleanor.
And it's with excellent criteria, of course, when we do with your results, academic results, based on your academic results.
Perfect. Thank you. So we have a little video. I'll let you watch it. It's not even a few minutes. Enjoy.
On n'entend rien.
Karim, on n'entend pas la vidéo.
I should have known that before, but it's okay. I think the subtitles would have done it. Anyways, the video is in French, so some of you, in case you don't speak French, the subtitles were in English. So thank you. Next, here is our lovely campus. So this is a bird's eye view, so it's quite big. Doesn't show how big it is. Here's the lake we talked about, the tennis courts. Here you also all have residency on campus as Cycle Ingénieur students. I don't want to promise yet because it will depend on the numbers, but we do offer residency. So this will be it. And thank you very much. If you have any questions, please email us at this email address. We will take all your questions now, not all, as much as we can. You're quite a few. And please don't hesitate to scan the QR code and follow us on our social media. Oh, this is done. Okay, so time for some questions. I'll be needing the help of Marc and Eleanor to answer some of them. So I'm going to get going. First question from anonymous attendee. I'm in Lebanon. Where can I register for the exam? Marc, how can they register for the exam?
You're in Lebanon. I would say that starting next year, the natural. It depends on in which institution you are. If you're at a university, you should apply to so-called FUI, as I said before, and then for the applications you go to our website. Then you will find the information to apply. And then our staff will be in touch with you. And once your application is completed, then you will see whether you are entitled to go to the oral test, and that's it. So but the application is on our website. I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Marc. I hope this answers your question. If you still have any, of course, don't hesitate to email us. We have Tristan. who's asking, passé 23 ans, ce n'est donc plus possible pour moi d'intégrer le cycle ingénieur d'aucune manière. To translate, for those who don't speak French, I'm over 23 years old. Is there no possibility for me to join? I assume not.
No.
Correct?
If you are French, not. If you are not French, it is 25.
So here's your answer, Tristan. Sorry to hear that. Ines is saying, hello, thank you for the presentation. Our pleasure. What criteria would you recommend candidates use to choose their major and minor for the oral exam? Choose what you're most comfortable and best at.
Exactly. No,
This would be the rule.
yeah.
Don't go following the numbers. Oh, this one has more seats. This means I have a higher chance. No.
No, no,
Follow
no.
what you're best at.
Yeah, no, yeah, and then there is one thing that I should have said is that we have this system of major and minor for the FUI. It is contrary to what happens in CPGE in class preparatoire. In class preparatoire, we have a fixed number of positions for each disciplines, MP, PC, and so on. For FUI, we do not have any fixed number of positions per discipline. So really, you should go where you feel most strong and most comfortable.
Perfect. So here's your answer, Ines. Giada De Nicola. I hope I didn't butcher your name. I'm sorry if I did. An Italian student graduated this in October 2025 in a Bachelor of Engineering. Can apply for FUI. If you are under 25, yes. Am I mistaken, Mark?
It depends on there is a rule is that you should be in the as you are Italian you are in the LMD system. You should not be in master. If you have a master diploma, if you are even just registered in master, you are not allowed to apply.
So in his case, he just finished the bachelor's, so not in master's yet. So I assume.
Yeah, but if you graduated in October, it means that this year you are in a master or something like that.
Except if he's doing a year, lap year, where he's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
doing anything.
yeah. So yeah, this is to clarify.
Up. Next, we'll do a few more. Let's take just 5 or 6 more, I guess, and then we'll get going. So, what kind of practice or books are required to prepare for the exam as international students?
Well, for international students, what we are doing is that we give a sort of um, program, which is not really a program, but for each discipline, we shall give some attempts, what people expect you to know in each discipline. So we add such a program for mathematics and physics, and at the moment we are preparing it for the next competition, which will take place next fall, for computer science, for chemistry, for life sciences. So you will have a list of topics which you are supposed to know. But you have to keep in mind also that the people who will take the oral exams with you, so the professors who will interact with you, know what you have studied. So they may choose to test you on what you have studied or not. But on the other hand, we want to be sure that you know the basics of the disciplines in which you apply. So we have defined a minimal number of things that you should know, and then people who will interact with you at the oral exam will ask maybe some other things.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, 1 second. I'm sending an answer. Up. A few more. For a student in Math CS double degree at a Paris university, what yearly average is generally considered good or very good for taking the concours? This is a very, very common question. I'll let Marc answer it.
I've not seen the question. Where is it?
For a student in Math and Computer Science double degree at a Paris university, what
Paris
yearly
University.
average grades is generally considered good or very good for taking the concours?
Uh, so if you are at the university in Paris, you will be competing in so-called FUF, Filière Universitaire Française, and we have a requirement which says that in L2, in your second year, your average should be at least 13. Otherwise, it is just forget it. And then, and then, of course, the best average, the better it is. We have to make a selection for to choose students who will go to the oral test. So the better your grades, the better are your chances. This is just, I'm not saying anything very intelligent, but yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna answer something. This is not a question, but I've seen quite a recurring thing. You are considered a French student if you have the French passport, the French nationality, regardless of where you live. You
Yeah.
can be a resident of Honolulu, but if you have the French residency, French passport, sorry, then you are considered French. Same to be considered an EU citizen. If you have the passport of an EU country, regardless of where you live, you are considered an EU student. So this clears it up for application, for prices, all of the above.
Yeah. And also,
Uh,
if you have two nationalities, among which French, it is
you are
French.
French.
Yeah, you are French. You have no choice.
Oh, exactly. You can't choose the other one.
You cannot choose
Uh,
the other one.
I want to know why should we restart the third year when you want to do double degree while we're already taking the exam? I'm gonna reread the question. Sorry.
Yes.
Hello to all. I want to know why should we restart the third year when you want to do double degree while we are already taking the exam?
You mean yeah, okay, I think I understand. Because when you apply, you you are more or less have finished a third year somewhere, and then you will have to redo it. But maybe you will not redo exactly the same thing, and maybe Eleanor can answer about that because she knows the program. But the idea is that at Ecole Polytechnique you have a very generalist uh, culture, so maybe you will learn other things and so on. But I suppose Eleanor has more to say about that.
Yeah, can Karim, you can re-ask the question because I can't get it
Yes,
on
I'm
the.
gonna reread it.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
Harold asks, I want to know why should we restart the third year when you
Ah,
want
okay.
to do double degree while we're already taking the exam?
Yeah, the objectives of the program is to have a multidisciplinary formation to have a better macro understanding. So as Mark said, so at the beginning, if you are like specialist in mathematics, you will learn again things you already know, but it's during the common course, and then you can be specialized more. And but you will learn more about physics or economics, for example. You don't know at during your license or bachelor degree. Is it the question? Or
I think you answered it.
okay, thank you.
So thank you, Eleanor. Okay, guys, the last question, and then we'll have to get going. So, Rich Ambeto, I hope I didn't butcher your name again. Comment les oraux s'organisent? Quelles sont les attentes de l'école envers les candidats? Est-il possible d'observer les oraux cette année si si on souhaite de présenter en 2027? I'm going to translate it to those who don't speak French. So, how do the oral exams, how are they organized? What is the school, École Polytechnique, awaiting from the students who are taking these exams? And can we watch some of the exams that are being taken by students this year in order to apply to the intake of 2027?
Mm. Well, it depends on which competitive exams you are talking about. As you have written your question in French, I suppose you are in France, and so that you will apply to so-called filière universitaire française. If this is the case, the oral exams take place at École Polytechnique, and it is possible to attend some oral tests taken by other students if you want to apply next year. Yes, this is possible. You have to register and so on. We have something for that. For students who want to apply to Filière Universitaire Internationale, FUI, of course, as the tests are via video conference, it is not possible to attend.
Perfect. Thank you. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to answer the last question for Mikzai. Did I understand correctly? Can I take any concours as foreign student through FUI, right? No. If you are FUI, you don't take a concours. You apply
No,
with a
it is a
dossier.
concours. It is a concours. FUI
Yeah,
is a
but not
concours.
the CPGE, not
It
the
is not
like.
CPGE. No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, no. Let me say the following. If FUI is designed for international students who are abroad. If you want to take CPGE, you have to take the written test first. In FUI, you do not have written test. And if you want to take the written test, you have to go to one of those centers where we organize this. I explained before that we have many centers in France, of course. Then we have one in Morocco, one in Tunisia, one in Senegal. Maybe, and certainly starting next year, we shall have one in Ivory Coast, one in Cameroon also. But you know, there are not so many possibilities. And then, if you are selected for the oral test, you have to come to Palaiseau to take the oral test. So you have to keep this in mind, and you have to keep in mind also that you will compete with students who are already in class préparatoire and who have a special preparation for that. So if you want to apply there, be my guest. But yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Mark. It has been a pleasure, everyone. I'm sorry we couldn't get by all your questions. You're quite a few, and we are limited in capacity. We're only three. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope this was informative for all of you, and I hope we'll see you next year or the one after on our campus. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us or contact us or check our website for any more information. Everything is there. Nothing we said here is hidden. Everything's on our website, and you can also find the recording of this webinar within 1 or 2 days on our website as well. You will also receive an email. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Elonov. Thank you, Mark, for your help and for answering all these questions. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.